Have you ever wondered why we sometimes feel torn between our desires and our conscience? In Islam, the concept of nafsofon, translated as the soul or self-focus, a profound framework for understanding this inner struggle. According to the great Islamic scholar Imam al-Ghazali, the human soul evolves through 7 distinct stages, each representing a level of spiritual growth or decline. These stages, rooted in the Quran and enriched by centuries of Islamic wisdom, reveal the journey of our desires from reckless indulgence to divine contentment. Today, we're diving into the 7 stages of Lusta Roadmap to understanding your soul's battle and how to rise above it. Let's explore this transformative journey together. Stage 1, Nafs Amara, the soul that commands evil. We begin at the lowest stage, Nafs Amara, the soul that commands evil. This is the raw, untamed state of human desire, where our impulses reign supreme. The Quran describes it in Surah Yusuf, verse 53. Indeed, the soul is a persistent enjoiner of evil, except those upon which my Lord has mercy.
Okay.
At this stage, the soul is like a wild horse, galloping toward every temptation, greed, anger, lust, envy without restraint. Imagine someone who chases fleeting pleasures, money, status, or physical desires, heedless of consequences. They might lie, cheat, or harm others to satisfy their cravings. This is the nafs amara at waraka state, where the self is enslaved to its base instincts. Imam al-Ghazali warns that this stage is dangerous because it blinds us to morality and reason. People here live for the moment, ignoring the spiritual and eternal consequences of their actions. But here's the thing. We all have moments where nafs amara creeps in. Maybe it's that urge to lash out in anger or to indulge in something you know is wrong. The key is recognizing it. Awareness is the first step to taming this wild soul. Without it, we risk being stuck here, driven by desires that lead to destruction. Stage 2. Nafs lawama, the self-reproaching soul. As we move to the present stage, Nafs lawama, the soul begins to wake up. This is a self-reproaching soul mentioned in Surah Al-Qiyamah, verse 2. And I swear by the self-reproaching soul. Okay, at this stage, your conscience kicks in. You start to feel guilt or regret after giving in to your desires. It's like an inner voice that says, why did I do that? I know better. This stage is a battleground. The nafs lawama is torn between the pull of worldly temptations and the desire to do what is right. For example, someone might gossip about a friend and later feel ashamed, vowing to be better, or they might overspend on something frivolous and then regret neglecting their responsibility. This self-awareness is a sign of growth. It shows the soul is no longer fully enslaved to its impulses. Imam al-Ghazali emphasizes that nafs lawama is a critical turning point. It's where the journey of self-purification, or tazkiyatu nafs, begins. But it's not easy. The soul at this stage is inconsistent, swaying between sin and repentance. The challenge is to strengthen that inner voice of reproach, to let it guide you toward better choices. Prayer, reflection, and seeking forgiveness are key practices to move beyond this stage. Stage 3. Nafs Mulhima, the inspired soul. Now we reach Nafs Mulhima, the inspired soul. This is where the soul starts to receive divine inspiration, or ilham, to pursue goodness and avoid evil. Unlike the previous stages where desires dominate, the Nafs Mulhima is marked by a growing awareness of Allah's guidance. It is like a light bulb turning on in your heart. You begin to see the difference between what is fleeting and what is eternal. Okay? At this stage, person is more intentional about their action. They might feel a strong urge to pray regularly, give charity, or treat others with kindness, not out of obligation, but from a genuine desire to please Allah. For instance, someone might choose to forgive an enemy, not because it's easy, but because they're inspired by the Quranic call to patience and mercy. However, Nafs Mulhima is not perfect. The soul can still be tempted, but it's now equipped with spiritual insight to resist. Imam al-Ghazali advises nurturing this stage through consistent worship, studying the Quran, and keeping company with righteous people. These practices help the soul stay connected to its divine inspiration, paving the way for higher stages. Stage 4. Nafs Mutmana, the tranquil soul. The fourth stage, Nafs Mutmainna, is a milestone of spiritual peace. This is the tranquil soul, beautifully described in Surah Al-Fajr, verses 27 to 30. O reassured soul, return to your Lord, will please them pleasing to him. Enter among my servants and enter my paradise. Okay, at this stage, the soul finds true contentment in its connection with Allah. People with nafs matmana are no longer swayed by every desire or worldly distraction. They've mastered their impulses through discipline and devotion. Okay, imagine someone who faces hardship, loss of wealth, health, or loved ones, but remains calm, trusting in Allah's plan. Their heart is at peace because they've surrendered to His will. Imam Al-Ghazali teaches that reaching this stage requires intense mujahada, striving against the lower self. Regular prayer, fasting, and remembering Allah are essential tools. The tranquil soul doesn't mean a life free of challenges. Rather, it's a state of inner calm that withstands life's storms. This is the soul that finds joy in worship and serenity in submission. Stage 5. Nafs Rodaya, the soul pleased with Allah. Moving higher, we come to Nafs Rodaya, the soul that is pleased with Allah. This stage is about complete acceptance of Allah's decree, whether it brings joy or hardship. The soul no longer questions, why is this happening to me? Instead, it says, I am content with whatever Allah has chosen. This level of surrender is profound. A person with Nafs Rodaya sees every moment good but does a gift from Allah. For example, they might lose their job, but view it as an opportunity to grow closer to Allah through patience and trust. Their heart is filled with gratitude, even in adversity. Imam Al-Ghazali highlights that this stage is achieved through deep love for Allah and constant reflection on His blessings. The soul at this level is not just resisting temptation, it is actively embracing Allah as well with joy. This is a rare and beautiful state, one that requires years of spiritual discipline and sincerity. Stage 6. Nafs Mardiya, the soul pleasing to Allah. The sixth stage. Nafs Mardiya is the soul that is pleasing to Allah. The soul not only accepts Allah's will, but is also accepted by Him. It's as if Allah looks upon this soul with divine favor, saying, You have pleased me. This stage is closely tied to Nafs Radiya, as the two are mentioned together in Surah Al-Fajr, well pleased and pleasing to Him. Okay. At this stage, person's actions, words, and thoughts align with Allah's pleasure. Their life becomes a reflection of divine values, compassion, justice, humility, and devotion. They inspire others not through preaching, but through their character. For instance, their kindness may soften the hearts of those around them, drawing others closer to Allah. Imam Al-Ghazali notes that reaching Nafs Mardiya requires purity of intention. Every act of worship, charity, or kindness is done solely for Allah's sake, free from ego or desire for praise. This stage is a testament to a life dedicated to spiritual excellence. Stage 7. Nafs Kamila, the perfect soul. Finally, we arrive at Nafs Kamila, the perfect soul. This is the pinnacle of spiritual development, where the soul achieves complete harmony with Allah's will. The Nafs Kamila is rare, often attributed to prophets, saints, and the most righteous believers. Okay, at this stage, the soul is fully purified, free from all traces of ego, pride, or worldly attachment. A person with Nafs Kamila lives in a state of constant closeness to Allah. Their every action is guided by divine wisdom, and their presence radiates peace and inspiration. Think of the prophets, like Prophet Muhammad, whose lives exemplified perfect submission and love for Allah. Imam Al-Ghazali teaches that this stage is the ultimate goal of tazkiyah, the purification of the soul. It is not about being flawless in a human sense, but about reaching a state where your soul is entirely aligned with Allah's purpose. Very few reach this level, but it serves as an aspiration for all believers. These 7 stages nafs, Amira Lawa, Mutmainnah, Radiyah, Mardiya, and Kamila map out the soul's journey from slavery to desire to ultimate freedom in Allah's love. Each stage builds on the last, requiring effort, discipline, and divine guidance. Imam al-Ghazali emphasizes that this journey, called mujahada, is not a straight path. You might slip back to a lower stage, but the key is to keep striving. So how do we progress? Here are some practical steps rooted in Islamic teachings. 1. Self-reflection. Regularly assess your actions and intentions. Ask, am I acting out of desire or devotion? 2. Worship. Establish the 5 daily prayers, fasts, and engage in dhikr to stay connected to Allah. 3. Knowledge. Study the Quran and the teachings of scholars like Imam al-Ghazali to understand your soulless needs. 4. Good company. Surround yourself with people who inspire you to be better. 5. Repentance. When you falter, seek Allah's forgiveness and resolve to improve. The 7 stages of lust aren't just a spiritual theory, they are a guide to living a life of purpose and peace. Whether you're wrestling with nafs, amara, or striving for nafs, mutmainah, the journey is yours to take. Every step toward purifying your soul brings you closer to Allah's mercy and paradise. So, where are you on this journey? Reflect on your actions, your desires, and your connection with Allah. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's inspire each other to climb higher. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more content on spiritual growth and Islamic wisdom. Until next time, may Allah guide us all to the path of the tranquil soul.